Russian forces claimed a sweeping series of battlefield gains across multiple fronts in Ukraine on Tuesday as the Kremlin intensified its special military operation, destroying key Ukrainian military infrastructure and equipment amid fierce clashes that marked one of the bloodiest updates in weeks. The Russian Ministry of Defense released a lengthy statement detailing what it described as successful strikes by various army groups, namely Tsentr, Sever, Zapad, Yug, Vostok, and Dnepr, resulting in heavy casualties for Ukraine and significant losses of armored vehicles, artillery, and advanced Western-supplied weaponry. The Rubicon Center's specialists, operating under the Tsentr Group, reportedly neutralized a Ukrainian T-72 tank in the Sumy direction. Further along the Krasnoarmysk axis, the group's Msta-S self-propelled artillery system eliminated a fortified Ukrainian position after reconnaissance drones spotted the target. The Tsentr Group also claimed devastating strikes on 15 Ukrainian formations, including mechanized, air assault, and National Guard brigades in Donetsk. The group reported Ukrainian losses of over 445 troops, 4 armored vehicles, and 6 pickup trucks, alongside the destruction of multiple artillery units and ammunition depots. In the Sumy region, Sever forces reportedly decimated positions of several Ukrainian brigades, inflicting losses amounting to 210 troops, 2 tanks, and a US-made M777 155 mm howitzer. Simultaneously, Zapad units improved tactical positions in Kharkov and Donetsk, conducting coordinated strikes on AFU forces near Kupiansk and Kirovsk. The Russian Defense Ministry claimed an additional 210 Ukrainian fatalities, with losses including a Polish-made 155mm Krabs self-propelled gun and 2 Kazakh armored fighting vehicles. In a continued push to consolidate gains, Yug forces claimed the capture of more advantageous lines in the Donetsk People's Republic. The ministry reported clashes near Serebryanka, Konstantinovka, and Predtichino, resulting in 220 Ukrainian casualties and the destruction of Western-supplied equipment, including a US-manufactured M113 armored personnel carrier. Further south, the Vostok Group claimed advances into enemy-held areas in the Zaporozhye and Donetsk regions. According to Moscow, strikes on Ukrainian, mechanized and marine brigades near Komar and Chervonoye led to the elimination of 170 troops, 4 armored vehicles, and 1 artillery gun. The Dnepr Group added pressure along the Zaporozhye-Kherson axis, reportedly hitting mountain and coastal brigades, neutralizing 50 troops, and destroying additional military vehicles and electronic warfare systems. Operational tactical aviation, along with missile troops and artillery units, launched attacks on 142 Ukrainian positions, including a training camp for Ukrainian formations, foreign mercenary hubs, airfield infrastructure, and ammunition depots. Air defense systems reportedly intercepted 6 US-made JDAM aerial bombs and 236 drones, including 162 outside the immediate conflict zone. In its latest figures, the Russian Defense Ministry claimed Ukraine has lost 662 aircraft, 2.83 helicopters, 58,043 drones, 605 anti-aircraft systems, 23,141 tanks and armored vehicles, 1,563 MLRS units, 25,115 artillery pieces, and 35,747 support vehicles. The reported gains come amid growing international scrutiny over Russian operations, with Western officials questioning the veracity of casualty figures and calling for de-escalation. Ukraine has yet to officially respond to the latest claims, though military sources in Kyiv insist their troops continue to defend key strongholds and inflict counter-losses on Russian formations. The surge in Russian operations follows an April incursion into the Kursk region by Ukrainian forces, which Moscow described as the largest invasion into Russian territory since World War II. That assault, which briefly saw Ukrainian forces holding up to 1,400 square kilometers, was ultimately repelled, according to the Kremlin.
During these 3 days of the ceasefire that we announced on 8, 9, and 10 of May, you all saw what kept happening. It was reported by mass media. It was all reported by you. During this time, 5 deliberate attempts to breach the state border of the Russian Federation in the Kursk region were made, in the Kursk region and on the border with the Belgorod region. It was during the days of the ceasefire that we announced. Moreover, 36 more attacks were made at other directions. All these attacks, including attempts to break into the territory of the Russian Federation in the Kursk region and in the Belgorod region, were repelled.
President Vladimir Putin, in an unannounced visit to Kursk this week, underscored the importance of domestic defense and praised volunteer forces and nuclear infrastructure workers, signaling a further hardening of Russia's resolve.
The situation in frontier zone of Kursk region remains difficult even after the liberation from enemy. Overwide of Putin speaking. We also talked about it with acting Kursk region governor Alexander Yevseyevich Kinstein, but you know it better than anybody else. In general, all the Kursk region faced in some ways the problems which are typical for frontier zone. In short, everybody, including those who lives in Kursk city, faced these problems and hit now a rough patch.
As both sides brace for what appears to be a grueling summer campaign, the conflict shows no sign of slowing, underscoring the high stakes of a war now stretching into its 4th year, with growing geopolitical consequences